Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Paranormal Peeps podcast. We appreciate you coming back and listening to us again. And we appreciate Josh and Jamie inviting us to come back and record again. Today, we're talking about some cracks and holes and darkness and
things that crawl out of it.
Things that crawl out of the hole.
No.
Horrible things. You're already wondering, like, what the heck? Well, today we're talking about something. It's a place. It's a magical place. So close your eyes wherever you are and you're listening.
Not while you're driving.
Yeah, if you're driving, don't close your eyes, please. Unless you're that good of a driver. I mean, heck, I could do that.
That's why you got a Tesla.
Yeah, that's true. These days, yeah, just let the car take over. All right, close your eyes. Think of the most phantasmic castle you've ever seen. We're talking like you're looking down Main Street and you have all the shops and you have like all the smells and you have, people in big costumes and everywhere, and people, kids and families.
Disney.
And, yeah. So we're thinking of Disney, right?
You did say
one?
Phantasmic, and they have their...
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, Phantasmic show.
So it's essentially put in your mind Sleeping Beauty's castle. That's not what we're talking about today. We're going to talk about a better castle. One I'd actually like to investigate. We're going to talk about Houska Castle, or Houska, depending on who you ask.
Right?
I've heard it both ways.
I heard it both ways by several different people. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who probably know more than I do. But anyway, Houska Castle, where is it, Josh?
Well, let's figure out who's around the table.
Everybody knows who's around the table. We've all been talking.
Yep.
All right.
They're missing one, though.
All right, we'll go around this table. Let's go counterclockwise this time. So I'm the loud one. I'm Lord Mike. To my right.
I'm Terry.
She's my
Josh
wife.
is trying to figure out which way is counterclockwise.
Yes,
right
I was.
Are you caught up now, Josh?
I'm caught up.
Okay. I'm Jamie.
And I'm Josh.
And
Absent.
Absent with us tonight is
Elisa.
So get feeling better, Elisa.
She's being replaced right now by a bucket of Coke.
And my backpack on her chair.
Yes.
Yay.
Placeholder.
You know what, though? It would have taken her so long to get here today if she had to drive in that weather. So it was
Yeah.
better if she
True.
stayed home
Yeah.
and stay safe.
Safer.
It's the lovely March weather of northern Utah.
So anyway, we're talking about Houska Castle.
Yes.
Are we ready to go? Okay, Castle.
Castle.
So not Disneyland. This is not Disneyland Paris.
Nope.
We're a little bit further away than Paris. It's a place called the Czech Republic, or Czechia, formerly Czechoslovakia. That's about the gist of what I know.
It's kind of by Poland.
Yeah,
I want to go to Prague, though, and it's close to Prague.
it is. It's only
I would
47
love to go to
kilometers.
Prague. I'd love to go to Prague.
How far is 47 kilometers, Josh? You're a world traveling man.
About 80 miles-ish. No, other way around. 20 miles? It's close.
It's like
30.
20 miles, yeah, 38 miles.
Yeah, it's close.
22.
It's very close.
Yep.
If we're wrong, don't correct us. Don't write in.
It's
Don't waste the time.
29.2 miles.
Okay.
So Jamie was right at 30.
Woohoo.
All right, she gets a jelly bean.
Unless I'm driving,
Yay.
She
then,
gets
it's
a
then
giant
it will be
Rice Krispie
40.
treat. Well, here's the hard part, though. There's not like there's a lot of roads that get there. I mean, there has to be something that gets there.
There's two roads.
But it's not like it's a well-traveled area. And that's part of why this place is so
Strange.
bizarre to have a castle here.
Yeah, they can't figure out why the castle was built where it was.
It's not built along any trade routes.
There's no water access to it because
I mean-
you'd have to have water.
dense
Right?
forests all
Exactly.
around. Well,
Well, and this castle doesn't even have a kitchen. There was
How-
no kitchen
how do you
originally.
flush the toilet if there's no water?
No toilet.
They didn't flush anyway.
There's no
back then.
toilets.
Actually, that's true.
Just a hole in the ground and
Or
a bucket.
Or the thing of a castle. One of the ones we went to in Scotland, they had like a big turret, the manor's, the laird's room had like a little turret thing off to the side, and then he would just kind of open the lid and sit down, and then it would fall
Straight down.
straight
Off the
down
side of
out,
the castle.
out the side of the castle.
Into the moat. Usually.
30 foot drop.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's going to
Straight down.
smell.
Yeah.
Can you imagine just like being the guy that walks by just at the wrong time?
Who gets to fish those out with a net?
I don't know.
Not
Those
me.
are the wrong
That's why it
floaters.
goes
That's
into
only
the moat.
that's
Yeah.
only if they have moats. This place that we
Right?
went, this was at
Was it Menzies?
Menzies.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They
It was
never
just
had a
interesting
moat?
'cause you're like looking down. Yeah, no, they didn't have moats.
There's
It
no
was-
moat. There's probably some petrified poop around that place.
Probably.
I don't know.
They need to eat more roughage. Yep.
Anyways,
See, they didn't need flushing toilets. They didn't need water.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's no water. There was no strategic value to it.
Nope.
There was just dense forest. I mean, it's such dense forest that it wasn't even ideal for hunting. It was just the most bizarre place to put a castle. So, but let's talk about it. Let's go back before that. Josh, when did the first inhabitants, when was the first settlement put in there?
From what I've seen, the first settlement was like a wooden structure that was built back in like the 6th century. So
By who?
I have no idea.
The Celts.
The Celts.
Yeah. I'm wearing my kilt
Which makes
just
you
this
wonder,
occasion.
why did they put something there?
Yeah, I don't know.
Right?
That's a good question.
And that would be the question for all of this stuff, right? Because after the 6th century and the Celts had something there, right? Then in the 9th century, they had a stone structure put on that same part of property. Well,
Right.
why would you what are you building it on for? It
I
doesn't,
don't know.
you know?
It's mysterious.
Yeah. But both of those structures weren't actually what we're going to talk about. Those are before the reign of King Oktar the second. Ottokar
I say Ottokar. It just sounds cooler.
Of Bohemia.
The second
of Bohemia.
of Bohemia.
Yes.
Yeah. They wrote a song about him called Bohemian Rhapsody. Apparently he killed a man and was like upset and turned to his mom to console him.
It could be.
Could be. I don't know.
Or it could have been written about his son, Wenceslas.
Oh, yeah. King Wenceslas. He went to town on a Christmas Eve.
Yes, he did.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was funny when I saw that. They're like, hey, I know that guy.
Yeah, but I don't think it was. I think it was written about the first King Wenceslas, not the second.
Oh, I don't know.
But anyway, there's no real I haven't found any real date of when it was built. It was just built during his reign.
Yeah.
So he reigned between 1253 and 1278 AD. So we're not back in the BC world. The interesting thing is during that time frame, he actually had like 50 different construction projects going on. He built cities. Like it was like the golden age of Czechia at the time. So
It's like Ages of Empire, like the video game.
Exactly. So an interesting note about his reign of time, during his time of power, they didn't have any issues with finances. They were very well off for a country.
He was well off.
The country was well off. So, because since he was funding everything, right?
They had to tax somebody.
He actually mined gold. Actually, not gold, silver.
Oh.
He found a silver mine in Moldova that they had control over.
Ah,
So they printed their own money.
silver and moldavite.
Nice.
And so the interesting thing is we wouldn't even know much about all of this stuff. It wasn't for Vaclav Hajduk. I'm certain I just destroyed that poor guy's name.
Hey, at least you tried it.
At
I
least
won't
I
even
tried.
do that.
What
Sounded good to
did you say his
me.
name was? Baklava Sajak?
Yes. But in 1541, he published a collective work called the Czech Chronicles. And so he was actually able to tell all of us what was there before this castle was built, which is the whole reason why we're actually talking about the castle in itself.
Yeah, the castle itself isn't so much the story.
No.
It's intriguing.
It's what's underneath.
It's part of it. But what's inside the castle?
Right? But before we get to that, there's a few interesting things about the castle itself, right? We've already touched on the fact that it's on a hilltop with no significance at all, and there's no water, no kitchen. It's claimed for some reason that it was supposed to be like a center for like the government of some sort, like to do like
Administrative offices for the
Yep.
royal
Yeah.
estates, so they could kind of.
But
So it's a nice castle. You can go, administer all the local lands, but yet there's no running water. There's no bath. There's no residences. There's no beds. I mean, it wasn't built to be lived in.
Yeah, it
No.
sounds like it wasn't meant for a long stay castle. Come live here. I mean, it wasn't by any trade routes,
I
so
guess
it wasn't.
any port in a storm. But
right.
There was nothing there.
Yeah.
I mean, it did have like an intricate system to collect rainwater,
Yep,
so
big
they did
cistern.
have some kind of water there, but it was only based off of rain.
Right.
So
And I don't know how much rain
yeah,
that area
I don't
actually
know how
gets.
much rain they get either.
I don't know. The pictures all look pretty green.
Well, it definitely looks green, but like if you're not collecting enough water into the cistern, you're in trouble. Like if you get hot and dry and it doesn't rain
True.
for 6 months, like
Hey, our backyard looks pretty green in March and April, but come June, July, it's yellow.
yeah,
Depends on what time of year the picture's taken.
beautiful desert we live in, right? the part that is like the craziest is Hajek actually talked about the castle's fortifications, the defenses of the castle, right? Normally those defenses are on, they face outwards,
Mhm.
right? But for whatever reason, all of these faced inward towards the center of the castle.
courtyard.
Yeah, there's usually like slots for like archers to stand so they can shoot arrows out to defend. There's nothing like that. And
No.
if it was inward, not outward.
Right. Why would you put defenses inside?
Because of what's underneath it.
Exactly.
We're just we're keeping you on the edge of your seat to let you know.
We'll get to you there. Another thing that was interesting is that there were no stairs from the top floors to the courtyard to the bottom of the courtyard.
No stairs.
There are now,
Mhm.
but that's just because of safety regulations that we live in.
So then how do they get from floor to floor?
Somewhere inside the castle.
Yeah.
But there's no direct
Nope.
route down. Normally they'd have like a staircase from the top floors down to the courtyard because people would like to go up and down and not have to walk through the labyrinth that is the castle. It also had a moat and other defenses that we don't see today. And those were removed during the 30-Year War in the 1600s.
Yeah.
And basically they were removed because private castles, they needed to be more accessible and harder to defend. And so they had all of their fun stuff removed. Even earthen ramparts were taken out.
Yeah, that was the Habsburg decree. So Emperor Ferdinand III. Actually, it was because the Swedes actually had held and used these castles as bases during the war, and they actually would they'd go out and rampage all the villages. They'd rape and pillage and steal food and stuff to feed their armies. And so after this war was done, Emperor Ferdinand made the Habsburg decree, which basically made all of, like Josh said, all the castles, either wiped them out or it made them all defenseless so that there could be no siege. It's like, we'll just kick you back out. No problem.
Well, and then like the other interesting thing is all the windows were like fake.
Yeah, there's
Most of
fake
them,
windows.
They're fake
They're
windows.
facades.
They're just facades. They
Yep.
have like stained glass windows, and then there's like a stone wall behind it. So it's like
That's
there's
like
no natural light inside the castle. There's no.
that's just making a turd pretty, really, is what we're doing here.
Right.
Hospitable.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely.
But all those things were taken. It was 1658 is when those were all removed by an Italian engineer named Pironi. Say it right. Pironi.
I just heard pierogi.
Pierogi. But thanks to him, because he was doing all this, he actually saved the renderings and drawings and all the information on what used to be there. So
Yeah, which is cool. Like it'd be nice to if they put that stuff back up, but they're never going to.
yeah, it only takes money.
Yeah, and resources and the desire to put it up.
But after that, the last reconstruction was in 1823, and the roofs were reduced, and it's essentially what we have now, kind of a Renaissance-looking chateau, more than a
Real castle.
castle-looking thing, because it doesn't look like a castle.
No, it looks like a house
It looks like a house.
with fake windows.
Looks like somewhere you'd see like in an 80s movie where they go to France to go stay in a chateau.
Oh yeah, I
I
was
don't
out of that.
Yeah. Anyway. So, do you have any information about the Swedes?
Nope.
About Oronto?
No. Go for
Okay.
it.
So this is during the 30 Years' War, before those things were taken down. Houska was actually controlled by the Swedish army, and it was chosen by a Swedish rogue commander of brigands and mercenaries. His name was Oronto. I've also seen it written as Arant. But he was used actually as his headquarters, and he was reputed to also be into black magic, alchemy. He performed unsavory experiments in this castle.
He's a cruel man.
Cruel man, yeah,
Yeah, he
just kind of
was.
an a-hole.
Alistair Crowley.
Yeah, pretty much, kind of. So not only this, but during his time of the occupation, like I said, his soldiers became terrors to the local village people, and so in order to feed themselves, they'd go and they'd plunder property, they'd rape the people, because that helps. But it really bothered the people who lived there, so they actually got together, wrote 100 gold reward for the slaughter of the Swedish commander named Arant. And it took a while, but finally 2 local huntsmen later volunteered, and they killed him apparently in the middle of the night. They shot through a window where he was supposedly working in his laboratory to discover the elixir of life. And they shot in arrow and
Couple local
Killed him.
hunters.
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
Which does, I don't know, that doesn't make a lot of sense
He
because
was
it's not
trying
like
to
it's a
make
good
that.
hunting area.
Right?
And he just
Well,
happens, it just sounds kind of,
Fishy.
well, it sounds very convenient. Through an open window, the evil emperor
Then he died in
Evil
the Great
Commander
Hall.
is working on his laboratory about
Making the-
creating the elixir of life.
Yeah, he was trying to make the Sorcerer's Stone.
He was
Yeah.
going to live forever.
It sounds fishy, but it's a great story. And honestly, all these things that we're going to talk about are legends. I mean, there's no concrete evidence.
For some of it.
For some. I mean, it's
Well,
There's modern, like, I think when we get into the modern day stuff, right? I think we've got a much better chance of getting
Mm-hmm.
what we call concrete, at least paranormal
can't
evidence.
prove
Yeah.
it.
well,
It's
and
just what people say.
all
happens.
legends are derived from a little bit of truth here and there.
That's true.
So there's bits and pieces that are probably accurate.
Yeah.
Like the legend of Walt Disney. I don't know. I just
Silence.
I don't
I was like, elaborate.
like the legend of Popeye. But let's talk about a little bit more about the castle, and then we'll talk about what's purported to be
underneath.
underneath.
We get into the Nazis after that, right?
We do. Yep. I've got plenty of stuff on them and haunts, but yeah. So some of the stuff that the primary characteristics of, Terry mentioned there's windows on the outside, but behind those windows is just wall,
Yeah.
Nothing.
nothing. So it looks pretty, but there ain't nothing there to see. But one of the major things that was built around it was the cathedral or the chapel.
Not built in it, not on it,
Built in
or around
it.
it.
Well,
In the middle.
on it meaning on top of.
But we haven't even
limestone.
told them about yet.
All right, let's give this. So every castle has to have a foundation, and so on top of where this is built, it's up on a hillside, up on top, almost on top of a mountain,
It's on a cliff.
3/4 the
Because
way
this
up.
was all before the Nazis even got there.
Before there were Nazis.
Yeah. So
This is when they
anyways.
were just Cobra. Josh just like shaking his head. Come on,
Cobra.
Cobra's real, dude.
Yep.
Yep.
They would have been taking place after the Nazis.
Okay. Well, there is a limestone structure on the side of this cliff, and so like Josh said, it's on top of a cliff. But up there on top of this limestone, there is a large crack,
a chasm.
a chasm.
It's a big thing.
Some people call it a
A
hole.
hole.
I like to think of it a crack with a hole in the middle. We'll call it the devil's bell. I don't know. It sounds fun.
It's the portal to hell.
It's the portal to hell. Ain't nothing happy going on in there.
Well, they couldn't figure out how deep it was. So, because they were bringing everything they could up to this, and they were trying to fill up, and they were dropping stones and rocks and stuff in it to try to fill the hole, and they could never hear anything hit the bottom of it.
And no matter what they threw inside, how many mother-in-laws they threw into it, they never stopped. It just never could fill the hole. So I think that's part of what probably drew, just throwing my 2 cents in now. I think you go back to when the Celts were there, there's the energy, right? They have ley lines. There's the energy, it's the reason why they built Stonehenge where they built Stonehenge. There's the magnetic poles in the world around the earth. I think they had to have felt an energy there, whether it was good or bad, but they felt that there was an energy. That's why it was a sacred place. And that's why
And
people were kept being drawn to this.
what kind of energy do you think would be there?
I don't know. I'm sure it's very powerful, whatever it was. But they were pagans have always been drawn to very powerful energy places.
Yeah, I have a theory on that one. There is the Czech Republic actually has several uranium deposits in it.
Uh-huh.
And on the east and the west of Jamie's a Robot.
Jamie's a robot. I didn't even say it that time.
Yeah, wake up, Terry.
Come on, Terry. But on the east and the west of roughly where the castle's at are large uranium deposits, uranium-238
Yep.
deposits, which would add into a background level of EMF. I don't know how high the level would be, It's not obviously enough to cause major issues with people, but it would be potentially enough to cause high levels of background or higher levels of background radiation.
Right.
I could believe that.
Agreed.
Yeah, I can believe that.
I go with it.
There was in there also talks of people from the town of like sightings that had come out of this.
Well, there were. We'll get to those. We'll
Okay.
get to some of those because that gets into like why it's scary rather than just being a castle.
Yeah, but those reports were background before the castle was even built.
Yeah.
So like those reports were back from the 9th century.
Right.
So yeah,
You know, flying monkeys.
They were bats. Oh.
they could have been.
Human creature
Could have been
hybrid.
bats.
Could have been.
They
Yeah,
could have been
bats.
Jersey Devils cousins, the Chechen
Yeah.
Devils.
Yeah, the Chechen devils, half
Yes.
human, half animal,
It's like a minor league
crawling
hockey
out of the
team.
hole.
All right. So anyway, let's talk about the chapel. Why did they put the chapel where they put the chapel, and what kinds of stuff? Do you have anything on that, Josh?
Well, I know they put it there to block the hole, to cover up the hole. Actually, or the crack is why they put it there. The foundation of it was the foundation that they laid on it was actually enough to seal the hole, so it keeps stuff in. Is the theory behind it?
Well, because they're putting a chapel, which is sacred ground,
Yep,
that's been blessed, whatever,
consecrated.
which creates that barrier of anything evil being able to come out.
Yeah. So it says that they put thick stone plates on as the floor, like basically to cover that hole, that chasm, that crevice. Which I don't know what a thick stone plate would be like.
See, I keep thinking of steel plates. So, but like I would imagine, like I don't know, probably something that's inch thick, maybe. I don't know. I mean, you got to carry that sucker up there, right? So,
Right? That's pretty impressive. I mean,
So
this is
maybe 10 by 10 inch thick.
just like big tiles.
Yeah, that's what I imagine it being. I don't know. I mean, I don't think they had that type of technology. I don't know what kind of stone they used.
I don't know. I would assuming limestone. That's kind of what they had around the area.
Yeah.
But at any rate, yeah. So they had it says thick stone plates were used for the chapel's floor, and then the chapel was constructed on top of it, and that was in order to seal this hole to hell. I'm using air quotes. That's what they call it.
Hole to heaven.
The chapel was then dedicated to the archangel Michael, who was the leader of God's armies in the fight against the hordes of hell. And then there's frescoes on the walls on the chapel's walls. Some of the oldest frescoes found in Europe, which date back to the early 1400s. But there's a couple of them that depict Michael. There's two scenes. One where he's fighting a dragon, which is a symbol of evil. And the other one scene, he holds a sword in one hand and a set of scales in the other, and is weighing the souls at the last judgment. So depicted also are scenes of the crucifixion of Saint Christopher. Another fresco that's in there. Do you have any more on the frescoes?
Jamie does.
Jamie does. I don't want to cut you out. You cut you out.
No, the only one I got is I had the dragon. He's slaying the dragon, and then I have the one where there's a person with a bow, an arrow, and it has the arrow drawn to keep ready to fight and keep evil at bay.
There's a significance between the right hand and the left hand on that.
Yeah, and it's left hand.
Yeah.
It's left-handed.
So it's it's actually a centaur. It's a female upper torso on the body of a horse, and she's holding a bow in her right hand, and with her and like Jamie said, with her left hand, she's aiming an arrow at a human figure. So it's not unusual to find a representation of a centaur. It was a creature of pagan mythology, so adorning that of the walls of a church wouldn't be horribly different, but the fact that it was left-handed, the pagans felt left-handedness was akin to Satanism. It was evil.
If you were left-handed, back
left-handed,
then, you were,
Yeah.
you were almost sentenced
Unclean.
to murder, right?
Yeah.
You were of the devil if you were left-handed.
And so researchers believe that this picture is linked to the stories of the half-human animals which were believed to actually come crawling out of this portal to hell.
Yep.
This gateway
Clawing their way
buried
out.
beneath the chapel's floor.
Yeah.
It's also said that the basement of the castle, there are a number of underground corridors and spaces in which, and it says, quote unquote, certain things are to be are to be buried, and the skeletons are not people. So there's
Animal.
or
Both.
Mythological.
or half animal. You know,
Dragon. There's a dragon skull down there, isn't there?
Batman.
There's centaurs buried under there.
There's Batman's people. They're Batman.
There are left-handed
Flying
centaurs
monkeys.
Yep.
buried
All over.
inside the that's where they're
I
at.
mean, if there are these skeletons that exist of like non, human nature, I would love to see them.
Right?
I would too.
Yeah. I did see some pictures of some of those things down in the basement, and right now the scariest thing in there is a Muppet that looks.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that Muppet.
The Dracula Muppet.
That
Did you guys see
Muppet.
that? Have you guys seen it?
counts.
It's really bad,
It's bad.
which is actually kind of creepy, to be honest. Because there's a throne down in there, right? There's this evil-looking throne, and it looks like it's welded, like it's a wrought iron type of a thing, and you can tell it's very old. It's like halfway into the stone and stuff, and it looks like a medieval throne that Satan would sit on, type of a thing, right? And so they went and put like this Muppet on it. I've seen pictures before, and then recently, it's like that's creepy because his eyes are like big, wide, and white, and then it's like dark everywhere else. And so you see these kind of
White glowy eyes.
just I don't know, Muppets. There's skeletons of Muppets maybe down there in the walls and stuff too.
Yeah.
Yeah. What if you saw a Muppet come crawling out of a chasm?
Oh my gosh, I'd be running.
Right?
Is it a man? Is it a Muppet? Sorry. All right, I took us very far off.
At least we're inside the castle still.
All right.
At least we're still in the castle.
But
We're good.
But yeah, so everything. But then you go with outside of that, everything goes into all the descriptions talk about how everything is
Facing the chapel in the courtyard.
Hence
Yep.
the reason why all the defenses are pointing inward versus outward is because they're trying to keep everything in this portal to hell.
Versus
Yes.
keeping things
Yes.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yes.
So how would you like to do that though? Like, so there's this legend of these things crawling out of this hole. So they put a chapel on it, right? And they're like, oh, but if you want to do some business with us and come to our administration building next to the portal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No thanks.
Don't come at after dark.
Right?
So with the Nazis, it's also known that the German SS took over Houska Castle during the Nazi occupation of Czechoslovakia from 1939 to 1945. It's not, however, known precisely what they were doing there. As in typical SS fashion, they destroyed all the records and all evidence of their activities when the German forces retreated from Bohemia because the Russians were coming in and the Americans were coming. So, like we said before, the castle was of no strategic significance. So why the German SS would be there, the Nazis would be there, doesn't make a lot of sense other than the fact that it is known that Heinrich Himmler was into the occult. And when I was reading about this, I kept thinking of Red Skull?
Yeah.
From
Captain America.
Captain America. Yeah.
Yeah. It's Red
And,
Skull.
So I was like, Heinrich Himmler.
Yet again,
Red
another
Skull.
movie Josh has never seen, right?
Yeah.
Guilty.
That's
Guilty.
That's the best superhero movie.
Yeah, because Red Skull was Nazi. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But coupled with that, and then Hitler also channeled significant resources into researching the discovery of supernatural weapons to use against the Allies.
That's why they got the Ark.
There was also, because they don't know everything that Nazis did there because the records were all destroyed, but there was also rumors that there was they were doing like a whole superhuman
The breeding camps.
Yep.
camps there in the castle.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was one of the theories that they had one of their breeding programs
Mhm. That's one of the theories.
so they could breed their super race.
They also took all the books that were being burned and was hiding them there at the castle at one point too. Was
Yeah,
another
there's-
rumor.
Yeah, there was a lot of what Terry was saying is a lot of the books from the libraries in Berlin and Hamburg were actually brought to the castle because of all the bombing raids from the Americans, and so they brought it there because they're not going to go bomb this weird looking chateau out in the middle of
They're saving the books.
Czechoslovakia.
Hmm.
What if they put the amber chamber in the bottom of the pit?
The Amber Chamber.
The
If they
Amber
could
Room.
reach the
Amber
bottom.
who?
No, it's
Amber
from
Chambers,
the
the porn star.
No, from Russia.
Whoa.
Just kidding. I don't know.
There's the Amber Room from Russia that they dismantled and it's been lost to history.
Yeah, the Amber Room's been missing. Yeah,
Yeah, so
it's one of those
I don't
unsolved
even-
mysteries of
they don't
where's
even
the
know what
Amber
that
Room.
is.
They
They
could
put
have just
it-
dropped it down
They
there.
put it down. They put it down.
They
in the
could have
pit.
easily, yeah, they could
Is
have.
it like a telephone? booth?
100%.
No, it's like a whole room.
No, it's a whole room.
It was a whole room. It was in one of the Russian palaces, and it was
Yep.
all amber. All the walls and stuff were amber, and they dismantled it and packed it up and took it away, like the Germans did with a lot of the artifacts and stuff, and then just disappeared. No one knows where it's at. It's been
Weird.
lost.
I don't know. That's weird. Never heard of that though. But yeah, it was well known that they were into the occult, like I was saying, and so they were hoping that they might be able to come up with some weapon against the Americans. Like Terry said, there were secret breeding farms where young women of acceptable bloodlines were given stud service by able-bodied SS troopers in an ongoing effort to breed the master race. And so this was a quiet place outside of that the war area where they could do that. But whatever significance it was to the Nazis after the war, it was actually necessary to clear the castle of landmines. So they'd mined it up pretty good and the area around it. And it was also one of the reasons why the current owners will not actually allow excavation inside the castle to determine the existence of this supposed bottomless crack,
Lame reason.
because there's fear of the possible existence of undiscovered German explosives.
Okay, I can kind of understand that to a certain point, but with as much technology as we have nowadays, and with sonar and all that kind of stuff, they could find out how deep that.
We
that
could
really
use
is.
GPR, right? Like we could use GPR to find it
Yeah,
if there's anything buried.
100%.
There. But the landmines were also metal,
Mm-hmm.
so a metal detector will detect landmines. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't take much to figure out if there's a landmine there.
Yeah, I think it's just one excuse of reason why they haven't really gone to find out how deep this really is.
Yeah. I have a feeling
Well,
it's deep.
Maybe they're afraid of letting all the demons out.
That is probably more along the lines of
Mhm.
what the actual theory, the fear is. Because like we're talking about an area that still believes in vampires and other supernatural creatures. And so like this stuff is ingrained in their storytelling and their DNA.
Still believes. Are you saying it's not real?
Yes.
You probably don't believe in Santa either, do you? Josh.
Let's not get into that.
You still have Santa hung on your wall
We
upstairs.
do have Santa hung on our wall upstairs.
So you can't say you don't believe.
Hey, look, that was our portrait that we had painted when Santa came to visit.
Okay, so the Germans were there for how long?
They're there until 45.
Yeah, and then what happened to the castle?
And then it
It sat, didn't it?
It
kind
sat.
of got abandoned.
Yeah,
There
it got
was really
abandoned
nothing
and
going
it
on.
sat vacant and it, nothing for how many years?
Well, it was open to the public in 1999.
1999. Yeah, it
So
just sat there.
54
Yeah,
years.
it just sat there. Mm-hmm.
It did line up, it did wind up into someone's hands. So, like, someone owned the castle at the time, right?
Yeah, what do you do with it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. What do you do with it?
It's like my clan's castle in Braemar, Scotland, right? Has been going through, it was occupied up until the mid 50s or so.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's been uninhabited and they do tours there. But I mean, old castles like that go through some severe deterioration and it takes a lot of money to get things renovated. They're actually doing renovations now on our castle that took,
They've been doing renovations on that castle for 20 years now.
I know, but they're actually making some ground.
It takes a lot of money to run to hold a castle.
Well,
but
go ahead.
no, I'll say, but like again though, like if you don't have running water or anything like
Kitchen.
or anything like that in the
Mhm.
castle, then like why would you want to live there?
So
Mm-hmm.
they've got to have that now, though. I mean, if they're going to, because they'll rent it out now, right? They actually do weddings
They
in the
do
chapel.
weddings there. They do functions.
You got to have
I'm
a toilet.
I'm sure that
You got to
that's.
have a, s- you know.
I'm sure it's been brought up to modern day. I mean, we were watching a YouTube video about it, about how there's random exploding light bulbs that happen all the time, and they can't
Oh, that's
figure
right.
it out.
That's right.
They can't figure it out. I mean, the guy that owns it was saying how he was doing a tour, and the chandelier started flickering, and then all of a sudden, a light bulb just burst. And then, so like, it's been known that light bulbs just randomly burst in this place, and coming from our house, we have light bulbs that randomly burn out all the time. They don't burst or blow up or anything like that, but we have come to find out that it's Mike's mom. When she's there, a light goes out
It's her thing.
just to let us know that she's there. So there was one point in time where I should have bought stock in light bulbs because we were going through light bulbs so fast. It was ridiculous. And the day we brought our daughter home from the hospital, I had 3 light bulbs go out in my house.
Jeez.
So, I mean, it's believable to me that something is causing these light bulbs to burst
Yeah.
in the castle.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's been brought up to modern day, obviously. You know, because they have like a bridal room and they do weddings and everything there.
Yeah. Now,
You know,
but still, like, I mean, it took a lot of time and energy to get that up to that.
The
up to
draw
that
for
code.
it.
Well,
Yeah.
there's no windows looking out over the countryside. I mean,
Well, that's okay. I mean, you can just walk outside the castle to go look.
that's true.
But Jamie has Jamie has a story from the current owner, right? What happened when he was in the castle besides the
Oh.
light bulbs?
Yeah, so they have like a game room or something back there that his buddies and him hang out in, and they were drinking wine. And
I know this story.
yeah, and his friends like called him over. He come over. He set his wine glass on the table, and it started to move. So he picked up the wine glass and he's checking it, see if there's any condensation on the bottom or any wetness on the table. And there wasn't. He put it back down, and then it continued to slide to the center of the table where it stopped.
Mm-hmm. See, and I heard one story where the wine glass levitated.
But see, the one that I heard was straight from his mouth on the
Yeah.
video versus the
Yeah.
other
So I've
one
heard
being
two
told.
different. And it's that whole like you tell a story,
Exactly.
and people add more emphasis. to
Embellish,
I
the
heard
stories.
yeah.
that there were
They
bottles
embellish it.
floating all around the room.
There's a ghost bartender.
Yeah,
And
I
then
mean,
there
you
were
know.
mugs of beer that were clanking together
Yeah,
like ghosts.
one story it was levitating. I believe more of it sliding than levitating.
Yeah.
But-
Yeah. But it ended up in the middle of the table and it just stopped. And, him and like 5 or 6 of his buddies, he said, witnessed it.
Yeah,
So,
that's pretty cool.
Were they all drinking at the time?
I'm sure they
I
were.
rest my case.
Well, it just kind of goes along the whole line of like it's your own personal experience. Like we can come
Exactly.
in with like all these EVPs and videos and everything that we found, but it all comes down to your own personal experiences. If you have somebody
Yeah.
to back you up, makes it even better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you got 5 buddies to back you up,
Right? Yep.
drinking or not, like 5 people claim to witness
Yeah.
the same event.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So let's talk about some of the haunts that people say. What makes this scary?
Okay. Well,
Other than just being
the one story that we have not even touched yet before the chapel was ever built.
yeah. I actually have
Is-
that on here lower.
Yeah, find
Starts
it
with the
here.
blue one. With the blue highlight.
Yeah. So, before they did all the construction and stuff like that, they were trying to figure out exactly how deep this hole to hell was. So they went to the prisoners that were sentenced to death and offered them a pardon if they were willing to be dropped down into the hole, because back then they had no way of finding out what was down there. And so my question is, how much rope did they know how to use?
You don't.
They just kept going and
to
going.
lower this person into the hole.
And how much rope did they actually have?
Right,
How-
right.
We don't know how far down he went either.
We don't even know how
Exactly.
far down he went.
They just said into the darkness so they couldn't see.
I don't think far.
Yeah. So basically, they were to be dropped down into the hole. 1, to see if they can find out how deep it is. 2, to see what's down in the hole. And then just to come back up and report on what they found. And they would get a full pardon and off of death row and all that kind of stuff. And when the first prisoner was dropped down, he began screaming after a few seconds. And when the prisoner was pulled back up, went down a young man and came back and had aged 30 years and his hair had gone white. So, I mean, I've heard of like people having experiences where they've, frightened enough, hair color, whatever.
Yeah.
But,
Crash just dummies wrote a song about it.
Yeah.
yeah. And wasn't there like a
And here's
Rogue from
hair
Yes, Rogue from X-Men.
turned
X-Men,
from black
yeah.
into bright
her hair
white.
turned white. Anyway, so they said that he, had grown extremely wrinkled, had aged 30 years, hair white, and he was still screaming when they pulled him to the surface that he really couldn't say what he saw or what had happened to him in the hole. And he was so disturbed by the darkness and everything that he literally had gone insane and got put into an asylum and then died 2 days later.
Of unknown causes.
Of
Unknown causes.
Yeah.
See, this is what makes me think of uranium.
Right.
Is that if they put him down into the hole, right? And
Yeah.
if there's uranium down in the hole,
Just extreme radiation.
right, he could have died from radiation poisoning.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because Madame Curie died from uranium when she discovered uranium.
But you don't think that 12th century doctors could have figured that out?
Absolutely not.
They're like, this man died of radiation poisoning.
See, and it was this story when that I originally heard about this castle that intrigued me to do more research on, because like these people are being dropped down this hole and they're coming back different.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like,
and
what is happening?
And some results, claim that this experiment was actually repeated more than once, several times, with the same result each time.
Yeah. So obviously, if you're on death row, what are you going to do? You're going to sit in prison, or are you going to try to take a pardon? I'm going to try to take that pardon.
Well, I would until the first 3 people get pulled up, and then I'm good. Like, just kill me. Just kill me.
They show up in his cell. Ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight? We're going to drop you in Satan's. But I swear they should name it Satan's butthole. I'm telling you, it's just the name.
It's fitting.
But they were never really able to get any answers or results from it, which is even the crazier aspect of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely seems like it has strange supernatural abilities for this hole.
Absolutely.
But again, though, we're still talking that we're still back in the 12th century, right?
Yeah.
So, how much of this is actually really first-hand, second-hand account, or do we get into the game of telephone again?
Yeah, how much of it is actual historical documentation versus I heard a story from my sister-in-law who heard it from her brother, who heard it from his friend, who was there when they dropped the prisoner down the hole.
Well, there's no.
I just heard it from drunk Pete at the pub.
Yeah. There's the way that they documented stuff and kept records back then is not very reliable.
No, it's very oracle,
Mm-hmm.
and so most of it was written down, which makes it a challenge.
But when they lowered that prisoner down and that happened. Isn't that what made the Prince Wenceslas, right? The first?
Yes.
To demand that the pit be covered with a chapel?
Yeah.
Isn't that what led to it?
That's one of the reasons why it was led to that, was because of what was happening with these prisoners being dropped down the hole.
And then all of the things that were supposedly coming out of the hole, too.
Yeah.
Well, even after it says, after covering the pit, people still claim that they could hear the screams and howls and see things.
They're saying that you can still scratching on the bottom of the chapel floor and stuff like that.
It's like
imagine if
squirrels.
If we got permission to cut the hole, right? Cut the hole in the chapel floor, right? And you cut it out and you lift it up.
Camera.
No, you just flip it over and you see scratch marks, claw marks. It's
you have
put it back, put it back.
That's the thing is how thick
messages written from Otto was here.
How thick of a cover is over this, Because, you can get drones and stuff that are so tiny that you could, I don't know.
It's got to be feet.
If they can get cameras down to
obviously.
the Titanic and below and further deep, the technology's there. That's with immense pressure.
Yeah. Well, we do. We could, if all you need is an auger, right? A bore drill, and you can bore a hole. And then put a snake camera in there.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling. I think the hole's probably about 90 to 100 feet deep. I don't think it's super super deep, but a torch isn't going to last.
Well, yeah.
No. But they were even saying when they were dropping stuff down in the hole, they couldn't even hear it hit the bottom. That was one of the reasons why they were like, "Well, how deep is this?" Because they could not hear anything. For as much as they were trying to fill it, they never could hear anything hit the bottom.
Yeah.
Maybe they all had hearing problems. I don't know.
No, that's just you.
You never know. And that's part of the thing, the bottomless lake. It's like every lake has a bottom.
Just some are really deep.
Some of them were just really deep, and it was just because it goes further than you can swim doesn't mean it's bottomless.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
By that reckoning, the pool at the Murray Rec Center is bottomless because I can't touch the bottom.
No, but our daughter can.
Well, she's a miracle.
But okay, so what are some of these creatures that have been reported as sightings?
Well, so there have been dark-winged, otherworldly creatures. What they say,
bats
/ human hybrids are reported to have crawled out of it. I would say those probably are bats, and if there was uranium or radiation stuff, they're radioactive bats.
They're
so maybe
deformed.
They're bigger,
deformed bats.
They could be. But the thing is the naturally occurring uranium-238 doesn't generally have enough energy to actually cause deformations and to cause that type of cell structure decay. But I honestly think the stuff being reported crawling out, I honestly think it's just hearsay. Like, here's, Peter at the pub, and he's 3 sheets to the wind. Like, dude, I was up on the hill, and there was this thing crawling out of there.
I was.
And the next thing you know, like, it just morphs into
sure.
all
See,
of
and
it.
that's where I think most of our cryptids come from, like the Jersey Devil, Nessie and all
Wait,
that.
you don't
kind of
believe
stuff.
there's a goat with wings that flies?
Absolutely.
We saw a picture of that thing.
So some of the things that are reported to be seen around the area, or even in the castle, there's a ghost of a bullfrog / human creature.
This thing sounds cool.
I'm trying to.
And it
All I
says,
can think of Mr. Toad's from.
does it say
Mr. Toad's Wild
Budweiser?
Ride.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a headless horse, a headless black horse. There's an old woman. There are
A lady in white.
supposedly.
There's always a lady white.
Actually,
We've
I
already
didn't- I
talked
didn't
about
see
this.
There are demonic-looking beasts who escaped the pit and died. There's different ghosts. There's a bulldog. That's what I think is funny is like there's ghosts of frogs.
Yeah.
Ghost frogs is
Ghost
just
frogs.
is the
But you said it's like human frog
Well, there's
hybrid.
that. A
Well, then
bullfrog,
there's just
human
regular
creature,
frogs,
and then there's regular frogs.
So that's where I think the drunkenness comes in, and they're slurring their words.
It's a bulldog. No, you said a bullfrog. Yeah, a frog.
But see, I mean, there's like the headless horseman, but then there's also like a headless horse.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that one, that's a first. Like, I've not heard of a headless horse.
right?
There's strange bleeding beasts that still roam the area after dark.
So go here after dark.
Well, that's when all the good stuff happens is at dark. Honestly, I mean, I've not seen any of the notes I saw said anything about daytime visits. Other than if you go to visit the castle, period, it's going to leave a mark on you. And it'll cause problems even after you leave.
Yeah, I've heard of horrible things that have occurred to people.
But otherwise, all the legend stuff all happens
At night.
at night.
Yeah.
Because that's when everything scary comes
Well, it's when the
out.
bats come out, and then it's when you can't see straight. I mean, it's dark forests,
Well, and if you leave the pub at 2:00 in the morning, 3 sheets to the
Okay.
wind.
but there's no pub close by.
So, but now, how do you explain cars not starting?
Yes, that was another thing.
Yeah,
'Cause it's a
that
very-
I don't have an
It's
explanation
a very
for.
common occurrence that cars near the castle won't start.
Yeah.
And there's actually a story where this one couple, after leaving the castle, after their car would not start, they got it started, left the castle, went into town, and then their car got stolen.
Oh, that
Okay.
was that was actually a couple that runs a tour there.
Yeah,
They do a ghost tour. Their car was stolen from the place, and they found it in town stripped.
Yeah.
Dang.
I don't think there's anything paranormal about that. I think that's just bad luck.
But,
That's just
but yeah.
hooligans.
But no,
Hooligans.
there's a big problem of cars not starting.
Yeah, see, that's weird. That screams something along the lines of paranormal, right?
What was that?
That's Gizmo.
That's Gizmo.
He's singing a song of his people again.
That's right. He's rehearsing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Supposedly, the courtyard is haunted by a headless ghost with blood gushing out of its wound.
Nah, it'd be interesting to see.
Many
Right.
shadow people have been seen all throughout the castle. There's even cases of poltergeist activity, which would be like with the wine glass
Yep.
thing. And then, like it says, the last one, there's some claim that visiting castle brings bad luck. I'd be willing to give it a shot, though.
See, now, didn't they
Not
find
right now.
some
I don't wanna-
skeletons of Nazis there?
They did.
Three.
They did find
Wasn't it like
skeletons that they believe to have been SS officers.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what do you do with them? You're doing experiments. They die.
So
You sacrifice them to the beasts.
it sounds like there's a lot of like spirit activity there, right?
Yes.
So
right.
if we take away the type 3 realm of things and we're talking about human spirits,
Mhm.
where do you think they came from?
you know,
Maybe the practices that the Nazis did there with the occult.
It's very possible.
Other
it
people
could.
who
What if
died.
it's the spirits of the people that were dropped down the hole?
that we don't know that we're actually sacrificed into the hole.
Right.
Well, you never know. I mean, the Celts were into some pretty weird rituals and,
Yeah.
and
Well,
beliefs. And
And we were watching that one YouTube video where there was a lady that actually had video of like a mist that came across the screen.
What,
that
did you
was
see
really
that one,
cool.
Jamie?
Yeah.
It was actually a pretty good one.
Yeah. It was pretty good.
Well, and then she had her the heat gun, and she was actually getting it to drop temperature, and then
Telling them.
yeah, she's
you
like,
bring it
okay,
down?"
let's take it down, make it colder, which
Yeah.
was really cool.
What
was
I
really
thought
cool
was
to
funny
see.
is like, look at the equipment. A K2 and a Ghost Meter Pro.
Yeah, and then
It wasn't a Ghost Meter Pro, but it looked exactly like it, but it was black.
and she had an
And I'm like,
SB7.
that's kinda like-
But
oh,
she
yeah.
turned the SB7 on, but never got anything out of it.
No, she did
which
not.
was interesting. But I liked that because it seemed like every show you watch, something always comes through the SB7.
Right.
If
It
you
is
don't know,
hard
So-
to get something out of an SB7.
So, yeah, but you see it all the time where other shows turn it on, and all of a sudden, oh my gosh, did you hear
you know,
that?
if you don't know what these are, Google K2. So K and then II meter.
We've talked about
Yeah,
it.
we've talked about it before.
We talked about the K2.
Did we talk about Ghost Meter Pro?
We have not, but it's like a K2. It's just
Works
on
the
a
same way.
works on a similar fashion, just on a much lower scale. Much
And
much.
it'll
lower
have like a
scale.
light on the top of it that you can get them. That when it triggers, it'll flash a light, and so you can have them 2 for yes, 1 for that's what we do. But then the SB7, it's like a little box that sweeps radio stations, and it's the one if you've ever seen it on TV. It makes this horrible sound. Everybody, remove your headphones now. I can't stand them. I can't.
But it seems
just
like
can't.
every show that turns that on, something always comes through. So I actually kind of liked that nothing came through when she turned hers on.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it shows that we don't always get
If Ghost
everything.
Adventures have been there, we're like,
Ghost Hunters International did go there, though.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes,
but
they
they're
did.
not weird. They're not goofy.
No, but
But I haven't seen that episode though.
I haven't either. But it's season 2, episode 3.
All right, homework.
Ghost
I tried
Hunters
to find it.
International.
They said it was on YouTube, but I couldn't find it.
Yeah, I found it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I guess I didn't try that hard. I'm sorry.
But they also do tours and stuff over there too,
Oh,
They
no,
do.
they do.
which would be awesome.
And they have an off season. It doesn't open until April something.
Hey, that's next month.
Yeah.
We gotta wonder. I don't know what the weather's like there in the.
I don't
winter.
know. Yeah. And you're up in the mountains.
I mean, it could just
So-
be awful.
It would make sense to have an off season and an on season. If you go to their website, you have to use Google Translate.
Unless you can read that language. I don't know what it is. It's
Let's check.
Czech.
Yep.
See, it looks
It's
a little bit
similar-
like Russian.
It's similar to Polish. Like I said, my coworker's from Poland, and so she was reading it from their website over my shoulder, and she could read it just fine.
Okay.
It's kind of like when you see Spanish and you see, different variations of Spanish or even Portuguese. You know, if you
can't read
if you
either
can
of
speak
those.
Spanish, you can typically read a lot of Portuguese and go, oh yeah, I know exactly what it's saying. It's just variations.
It's like German and Dutch. Very similar.
Even Italian's close to the Spanish and the Portuguese. Anyway, so Houska also serves as a meeting place for experts on the occult, UFOs, paranormal phenomena of all kinds. As the site it's the site of numerous conferences and events. Some of the people say that Houska may be built according to the principles of sacred geometry, making shapes with my hands. Sorry.
That is good podcasting.
Yes.
See
If
the
you can see my
See
hands
this?
now.
see this shape.
Consequently, because
It's
of
a
this,
triangle.
because of those principles of sacred geometry, it may consequently be a portal for teleportation and time travel.
See, I read that, and I'm like, what?
Yes.
So that's why. See, that's why the guy aged 30
Yeah,
years.
exactly.
He went forward in time 30 years.
No, because there is a report of somebody time traveling at one point.
And there's something magical about 30 years because we all know November 5th, 1955, and then November 1985. It was 30 years.
Yes.
You can only travel in 30-year increments. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I'm like, uh huh.
You can
guys
do
are-
that if you get drunk enough.
You guys
too.
are tired, and I haven't even been drinking.
Well, we don't drink either.
We're
But
not sure about that. We don't
Maybe
see
I
what's in
should-
your foam cup.
Maybe I should start. Allegedly, it's Dr. Pepper and cheesecake and cherry.
It's interesting though because you have those places, right, that become essentially the supernatural, like everything spot. Skinwalker Ranch in Utah is kind of like that. Now Houska Castle. I mean, I'm sure there's other places across the
Bermuda
globe.
Triangle type of a thing.
Yep, Bermuda Triangle. That's a much bigger spot though, but still. Like it becomes this all-encompassing. Everything paranormal happens here. I'm sure there's a Yeti running around.
Stonehenge.
he works the front desk.
Makes you wonder about where ley lines are. That's another thing we could talk. We should look into
Ley lines.
Oh yeah.
ley lines.
They're all over.
Interesting.
But do we have any more hauntings of the place?
I found one on a ghost called the Guardian that they call the
Oh.
Guardian. But when I tried to dig up more on it, I really couldn't find anything.
So they say there's a guardian that walks around?
Yeah, they just
Yeah.
there's this ghost and they call him the Guardian.
Is he the one that's like a figure in a monk's hood?
Yeah, see, I couldn't find the information on it. They
There's-
just...
Yeah, according to another legend, there's a figure in a black monk's hood that appears around the castle. He has no face, but he watches all the people who come to visit or dare spend the night there.
Yeah, that may be him.
But if you think about it, anywhere where there's like a portal,
Mm-hmm.
right, there tends to be, or just places where there's horrific things. Like we've heard out at Asylum 49, which is here in Utah, if you don't know where that is. But it's an old asylum. It's got a lot of hairy stuff there.
It's an old hospital.
There's a hospital.
It's the old Tooele County Hospital.
But there's someone there that they call the Guardian. That's basically a spirit that's there just to keep things at bay.
Yep.
Yeah.
We've talked about the Family Tree Restaurant. And, there's a demonic entity in the basement, but there's a skinwalker that is there that is to kind of keep the demonic stuff in check.
Wow, interesting.
That's all.
I don't know. It just seems like there's always a guardian there. There's always a spirit that's out there to protect.
Yeah. Always the good versus the evil. So, yeah. You found
And if he's wearing a monk's hood, then maybe he's a Jedi.
Could be. Could be. I mean, there's got to be an old priest, right? Like, if there's a chapel, you would imagine that there'd be a priest to, use the chapel.
Was given charge to, yeah.
So, I mean, a monk or someone like that would make sense.
Yep.
He's like, I am the one who painted the wall. I don't know. But that's Houska Castle. If you want to learn more about it, there is a place called the Interweb that you can go check out.
There's a lot.
Lots
Most
of
of it-
videos, lots of podcasts.
Yeah, there is a lot of podcasts. on
Lots
it.
of stuff we just covered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's lots of stuff. I don't think there's lots of variant.
No.
No, most of them are pretty much the same.
Yeah.
So if you made it all through this, there's no point to go look up anything else because really,
We got it.
We got you
maybe the
covered.
pictures. There's images. You can go look up images.
There's
Well, and the funny thing is this was a topic that I stumbled across that none of us had ever really heard of before.
Mhm.
So
No.
That's right.
yeah, so it was kind of a fun little.
It was
Venture.
fun.
It was a fun little wormhole to go down.
Yeah.
a little bit.
there's lots of different things out there, right? There's lots of different places and lots of stuff. And I mean, if you look up like Portal to Hell type of thing, right? Not the TV show, but
I love that
like
show.
Portals to Hell. Like there seems to be a hole or a portal or something to hell in most countries.
Every 15 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, see, this was when there's a lot of information out there on it, but not a lot of people cover it, which is weird.
Yeah.
Because it's like other topics we've done, there's plenty out there. This one, there's a lot out there, but
All the same.
Well, and you got to imagine it's probably a lot of it is due to one, it's old. It's built back in the 13th century, so there's not a lot of written.
Records or anything.
Yeah. So the written records aren't very good on it. And then two, it's also in a foreign country, like in the middle of nothing.
Yeah.
So like if it was in like London, for example, right? Like I'm sure there'd be a lot more stuff written about it if it was the middle of London, where there's lots of people and, much more cultural center.
Not all the people who were self-respecting stayed away from it.
Yeah, right.
It was creepy, so.
So, I mean, they do tours. So, I mean, people, obviously, there's a draw for some people to go there and see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, weirdos like us.
If you look it up on Google
Mhm.
Maps, there's actually some beautiful pictures of the building.
Oh, totally.
You can even spend the night there.
I'd do that.
I would do it.
Totally do that. I wouldn't sleep, but I'd spend the night.
Would you spend the night? Would you put a cot or a sleeping bag on the floor in the chapel?
I wouldn't sleep though. Like,
Would you try?
No.
I wouldn't try. Mainly because I'm old.
But what
And
if
I'm
we
fluffy
asked you? What
and
if the
I
point
don't
was
sleep
we
well?
don't want you to investigate. We want you to try to sleep. And
Here's
see what you dream.
Here's what would end up happening is I'd put a cot down. I'd put a pillow, my sleep bag on the cot. Within 5 minutes, I'd be asleep. And I'd wake up and you're like, what happened? I'm like, I don't know. I slept. And that's what would happen. So it wouldn't be very enjoyable.
Would it creep you out if you heard like scratching on the bottom of the?
Rats.
That would be super cool.
Under your cot.
If you're
Look,
laying there and all of a sudden you're just like,
I've heard the whole rat thing, so that doesn't bother me. Like when I was down in the Dominican, I was sleeping on my cot, and we'd sit there in the middle of the night, right? And you hear, and you'd wake up, and the MRE jelly packets and peanut butter packets were sucked dry with there's little holes in them because
Vampires.
the rats would come in, and the rats were size of dogs. Like, it's bigger than your guys' dog. They're like,
And we have a West Highland White Terrier. So
yeah. So
interesting.
they're about 3.5 feet long and
You
about.
sure it was a rat, not an opossum?
Yeah, it's huge. They are massive down there.
That's scary. That's what you would almost call the ROUSs.
Yes, rodents of unusual sizes.
Yes.
Or yeah,
I don't
Yeah,
think they
that's it.
exist.
I don't have pictures, so I can't prove it.
There's a documentary we saw called The Princess Bride where they actually...
Such a
Documentary.
Such a good documentary.
Such a good documentary.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
my favorite.
Such a good documentary.
All right, kids. Well, if you like the show, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your coworkers.
Absolutely.
And
Thanks for listening.
thanks for listening. You can find us on social media. We are on Instagram at what, Terry?
A cold spot _paranormal _research.
We're also on the Book of Faces.
They pointed at each other.
pointed-
Just, another great podcasting
Yes.
moment.
Yeah. And so at Cold Spot Paranormal Research and of course Paranormal Peeps podcast.
Yeah, and also, guys, if you ever want to go see Houska Castle, you can look up McGee's Ghost Tours of Prague.
Yes.
I just wouldn't recommend going right now.
No,
Eastern Europe's not a place to go right now.
no,
No.
But if you ever decide to go over there,
Yes, absolutely. And then you can find us on Twitter at CPR Paranormal.
And then you can find me on... Just kidding. You can find us on MySpace.
Yes.
If you can find MySpace. Does that even exist anymore?
No.
Yeah.
We had this conversation last time.
We did.
I don't remember because I'm old. But
And-
one thing I do remember is that it's time to go home. So
Yes. And with all of that, stay ghosty, my peeps. Thank you for listening to the Paranormal Peeps podcast. You can find us on social media at Twitter at CPR Paranormal, on Facebook at Paranormal Peeps Podcast and Cold Spot Paranormal Research. And you can find us on Instagram at coldspot_paranormal_research.